So here we are. I'm going to try and give you 10 years of my life into 10 minutes of your life. So let's see if you're ready for it. I thought I'd kick off with addressing the elephant in the room. I'm obviously underdressed, at least according to you guys probably. The way I see it though, I'm inspired. I'm inspired by one of the most successful businesswomen in the entire music industry, is Dolly Parton. And she famously once said that, "Honey, you wouldn't believe how expensive it is to look this cheap." And that's totally what I'm going for here today. So my name is Oscar. I'm the founder and the CEO of Epidemic Sound. And together with my co-founders about 8 years ago, we decided we wanted to soundtrack the internet. And many of you in this room maybe haven't heard of Epidemic Sound, but I can guarantee that every single person in this room has heard our music. Initially, we tried to define ourselves as our product, so we were very much music. We produce and we license music, and we've built sort of the state-of-the-art best production music library in the world to help storytellers tell their stories. But over time, that evolved, and we started seeing ourselves differently. Here we go. So we define ourselves now with two networks. So on the one hand, we have our customers. And what we've done is we've aggregated the best storytellers of our time. And so they range from hundreds of thousands of YouTubers to production companies, to ad agencies, to broadcasters, all the way up to Netflix. And we supercharge their content with the music that we produce. We've gotten to a point where we've scaled, so we're now distribution level. Our music gets played 20 billion times every single month across the globe. And this is what it sounds like.
How do you feel? We got no mic on this, but I'm pretty cold right now.
I can't feel my fingers.
I can't feel anything. We are in the middle of nowhere in Sweden. We've been taking photos all day, getting a little bit of a late start to this vlog, but nonetheless, it's gonna be a great one. You feeling good, Maddie?
Oh yeah.
Feeling good. Woo!
We obviously supply the Hollywood studios as well with music.
There was never a rivalry like theirs. For over half a century, they hated each other, and we loved them for it.
And obviously Netflix as well.
Public enemy #1 in the United States is drug abuse.
The cartels controlled everything from the police, the military.
So this is one of our networks that we now use to define ourselves with. The other one is the ecosystem of musicians that we created over the past decade. So we have hundreds and hundreds of musicians who not only power the ecosystem on the left, but also they create music and hits in their own rights. And we define a hit as a track that has more than 1 million streams on a music streaming platform. And besides of powering all the storytellers on the left-hand side, they also create music which is more sounding like this. Or like this. Or like this. Okay, so this is where we are. The question is, how did we get there? So in order to try and soundtrack the internet, we started to hustle and we thought tactics. Best way to get there is to start to soundtrack television first. And so that's what we did. Fast forward a couple of years, I was sitting at home in Sweden and watching every single TV station in Sweden at the same time was playing our music on every channel. So I sent out an email to my co-founders and I say, listen guys, I think we have product market fit and we need to scale now. So how did we do that, and why were we successful? It was because we did two things, right? So the first, we looked at the content creators themselves. They were super frustrated with how the music industry was working currently. So we re-engineered and we built a completely new music system from scratch. So we didn't invite GEMA, we didn't invite the PROs, we didn't invite the labels, we didn't invite the publishers, and they were furious. We re-engineered how you produce music. We re-engineered the products, the business model, and we got rid of everything that was tied to reporting. So just made lives much, much easier for every storyteller out there. Then we looked to the other side of the equation, to the musicians, and we realized that the entire music industry was optimized for the middlemen as opposed to for the musicians. So we changed sort of how we remunerate them. We sort of cut out the album deals. We did track deals. We were much more flexible. We launched a completely new music industry for musicians as well. So that's how we built these two massive networks, and we started seeing network effects. What then really took us by surprise was when the network effects started giving network effects on top of each other. This is what happened.
I've been feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down, feel alive.
So let me explain what just happened there. So we have hundreds of thousands of YouTubers using our music, and they have millions and millions of people watching these videos. Number one question is, I love the music you're using. Why can't I find it on Spotify? Why can't I find it on Apple? And then a year ago, we said, OK, we'll take some of our music and we'll upload it to the music streaming platforms, and we'll try and see if we can turn 20 billion viewers into listeners on music streaming platforms. And we provided them with the links. So Afmau, in this case, who's a 16-year-old gamer, she picked this track, Faster Car. And within a couple of weeks, we saw thousands of listens on the music streaming platforms, hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions, suddenly hundreds of millions of listens where we could drive online video viewers into listeners on the music streaming platforms. And suddenly there was a shitload of money coming in from royalty from all of these sort of music that we were now creating through owning online video. We took all that money and we split it 50-50 with our musicians and composers, which was unheard of in the music industry, because typically the label would take 85%. That just poured gasoline onto the fire, because then even more artists and musicians came in and more YouTubers started using us, and we got even more distribution on the music sort of streaming platforms. So inadvertently, we disrupted the entire way of launching artists. No radio, no label, sort of no marketing. We just own online video, and we're taking over from a music perspective. That was a massive shitstorm in the rest of the music industry. So overnight, I became public enemy number one. So every label, every publisher, every PRO immediately said that, who the hell is this Epidemic sound? We've never heard of them. It's because we'd been under the radar for 10 years and just sort of making sure that we own online video so we can take over distribution. We realized that we were throwing these musicians out into the void where they were supposed to become artists. So we then started helping them to try and become artists. So working with that cover art, working with names, working with albums, and taking them from musicians into artists. Pretty much my day job is about balancing these two out. The only thing that doesn't balance right now is growth. And I've been told that you're into numbers, which is good, because I'm a numbers guy. I went to Wharton. But because less is more, there's only one number I want to talk about, and it's growth. So we turn over tens of millions of euros every year. And 3 years ago, we grew 70% our business. Last year, we grew 90% our business, and this year, we're growing our business 120%. It's completely organic. It's because we're seeing these network effects on top of our network effects. I could go into a long rant now about strategy and what we're doing, but that's secret, and you probably don't want to hear it anyway. So I'm going to quote one of the best corporate minds of our times, which is Mike Tyson. And he said that everyone has a strategy until you get punched in the face. And obviously, what he's talking about is corporate culture, because that's what it is. Everyone has a strategy until reality sort of punches you in the face. And that's when you go back to your autopilot, and that's when you have to rely on your corporate culture. This is the 6th company that I'm part of building now, and I'm really, really passionate about sort of building corporate culture. If anyone wants to come talk to me, you can either come behind scene, you can look me up on LinkedIn. I'm Oscar, this is Epidemic Sound. Stay metal.